Okay, as promised or threatened a while back, I'm going to share all my worries over this Aidez sweater. It's a free Morocco pattern. I think it's been out several years. Here's a picture. It's been made over 4,000 times on Ravelry. I mean, there's that many projects on Ravelry. And the yarn that I'm using is Quince & Company Osprey. And it's been used for this sweater more than 60 times, on Ravelry also. And lots of people have had problems with the sizing, even using the yarn that's called for, which is a super bulky, and the Osprey is an Aran weight. But anyway, I've read lots of the helpful pointers and things on Ravelry and cast on for the size, for which size did I do? The 40-inch bust measurement. And of course it's not coming out that big, but I didn't think it would. Even though my gauge is, according to my gauge, I should come out with a larger size. But when you look at the pattern, the schematic, it doesn't match up with the calculations. In other words, the smallest size you cast on for the back, 66 stitches, and it's 3.75 stitches per inch. So that should give you a back width of 17.6 inches, but the schematic shows 18 inches. And this sweater has lots of cables. For the 40-inch size, it tells you to cast on 78 stitches, and at 3.75 stitches to the inch, that would be 20.8 inches wide, but the schematic shows 22 inches wide, and that's a big difference. That's more than an inch off. But I found several things that have helped me sort of understand it, and I also saw or listened to a podcast by Hannah Fettig and Pam Allen. It's called Knit FM, and this was in episode 2, and they talked about pattern writing. And when you have a pattern with a stated gauge, like this one's gauge is 15 stitches equal 4 inches, 6 rows equal 4 inches. What they said was, and that's in stockinette, what they said was that the way a designer gets that gauge number to put on the pattern is they make the piece, make the garment, and then they actually, block it, whatever, and then take a tape measure to it and measure the gauge. So that gauge is supposed to be the completed finished gauge. So my gauge is 13.5 stitches to 4 inches. So that's 3.375 stitches to the inch. So my sweater should actually be bigger than the 40-inch, but it's not coming out bigger. And I think a lot of that reason is because of the cables, because the cables pull it in. So I'm worried about it, of course. Well, whether it's going to come out right or not. But anyway, I'm carrying on, and I'll show you my progress. I'll be hiding behind it. Hopefully so it's crammed onto the needles. I can't really stretch it out to see how wide it is, but I've done 18 inches. Yeah, it looks a lot paler on that screen than what it really is, because it's a really deep, like royal blue. But anyway, so I've done 18 inches. I'm up to the armhole, you know, the bind off for the armholes and the raglan sleeve, raglan armholes. And I found another website. It was a knit along for this sweater, where this woman who talks about it, it's blog.baracco.com/2015/01/22/Aidez, KAL, substituting yarns and adjusting pattern. And she talks about if your row gauge is not the same, which mine is not, how to calculate, how to do the decreases for the raglan underarm. So I think that's pretty cool, and I've worked out the math, and I will put a link on my blog for this where I found this and all the other things that I've been talking about. So, so that's another worry. But my next issue, which has come up now, is that the pattern is not written to be done in one piece, but you can see I'm doing it in one piece. You know, the left, then the middle, and the right. And so the pattern is written to do it in separate sections and seam it. Well, now that I'm up to the underarm part, I realize that I've never done this before, and I'm not 100% sure what to do. But I've been reading, and so I think what I do is, at this point, I separate the 3 pieces onto 3 separate needles and do those decreases. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to write it all out, just row by row, because my plan is to just keep going right across the sweater, you know, do the right side and then do the center, the back, and then do the left side, and then turn it over and do the next row all across. So I'm going to have to write it all out to keep up with it, because it's also got all these cables, and that's what I had to do initially for the part that I'm on. Is I've got these little spreadsheet with the ear of corn, the seated wishbone, and another ear of corn, and that's the front, and then the back is the right cross stitch cable or something, and that big trellis section, and the left cross stitch cable. And so I have all these pages, like 4 or 5 pages of pattern that I've written up. I can't figure out how to get it in front of the but it doesn't matter, y'all don't care about that. Anyway, okay. Okay, well, there's no way to pause this, so I can't show you. I finished Gary's hat, but he put it on immediately and wore it around the house last night and stuck it in his drawer with his other winter gear, what little he has. So I'll have to take a picture at some point. Anyway, that's my sad tale of woe and my worries. One other thing I was going to say, because I just read Mary's email where she showed her hat, and that it's a very pretty hat, and said she did the tubular cast on, which is what I did on this sweater too, and that was fun. It was another new thing for me, so I really enjoyed it. I'm such a dork. Okay, so I'm really worried about the underarm. If I follow this math that I've worked out instead of following the pattern for the underarm decreases, then she doesn't say anything about what you do for the sleeve when you do the sleeve for the sleeve cap shaping, but I would assume you're gonna have to do something similar to make it fit, or maybe not. So if anybody has thoughts, ideas, guidance, I would appreciate it, because I'm in uncharted territory here. Thanks for watching. Hope somebody else puts up a blog, vlog, whatever. Bye.